Good morning, Madam Deputy Mayor, Mr. Mayor, councillors. It's been a pleasure over the last number of years to speak on behalf of our board and our 1,000 members that employ 75,000 people in this community, and indeed bring the voice of business in Hamilton, both big and small, to this issue. We also have been speaking on behalf of the anchor institutions, young professionals groups, creative industries, downtown interests, and the leadership community. We have also been proud to join so many citizens and community groups and other important Hamilton interests like labor, environmental, transit users, and anti-poverty groups in advocating for LRT, and we will continue to do so for as long as it takes. However, we would also like to get on with building LRT and channel all of the energy that we are putting into this at this moment, the unproductive energy, into not only doing that right, but then talking about the next tranche of funding so that we can build out the BLAST network. Because in channeling the legacy of Isaac Buchanan, Hamilton Chamber's first president, and the men and women that built the city into the great city that it became, we desire to once again become the ambitious city. There's been a lot of general talk about the benefits of LRT and recently a lot of scare tactics about the cost of building LRT as details of the plan emerge. But I want to talk about the cost of doing nothing, and they are enormous because it's no longer about $1 billion or not. These are the costs of heading down a path for 10 years and then having the rug pulled out from underneath us at the last minute due to cold feet or political opportunism. So the $1 billion that is committed to Hamilton at this moment will go to another Ontario community. That was made clear to me by the Minister of Transportation. We have also spent 10 years and $30 million in planning that will go down the drain. There's a report today from staff that says exactly that. There's another $40 million that is committed to future engineering and design work, and we know one thing, the lawyers will get rich over litigating that matter. We also know in today's report that $300 to $400 million in the $1 billion is dedicated to roads, sidewalks, water and sewer pipes, and bridges, infrastructure costs that we will one day incur as a community. We also know that there are $450 million in direct economic impacts due to the funding itself, mostly from the 3,500 LRT construction jobs that are anticipated. And finally, we know that there are hundreds of millions, if not billions, in intensifying development and economic uplift and the tax revenue that generates in perpetuity. Even if it's 1%, a very conservative 1%, 1% of a big number is a large number over a long period of time. So my back of the envelope costs are at least $2 billion at this point in time. However, those are only the measurable costs, and I think that there is much greater damage to be done. We know that the populace is split, and the methodologically flawed survey that came out over the last couple of days actually showed a very encouraging 40% support for this project. But among the people and institutions that toil each and every day to make this city tick, there really is no disagreement. A lot of voices have spoken in support of this project. Transit and planning experts, your own CEO, CAO, and executive. The City of Hamilton's strategic plan, mission, and vision has evolved over the last 10 years to incorporate LRT at its very core. On Saturday, I was really pleased to be able to join labor, environmental, transit union users, and anti-poverty groups in supporting this project. And I thought to myself, there are probably very few issues in this community upon which we can all agree. Of course, we've talked about downtown companies, destinations, and neighborhood groups that all support this, and these are the groups that will get most of the impacts. We've talked about the developers, and there's so many that have come out over the last number of days who want to build and provide the economic impact that we are anticipating. Of course, we have the institutions of higher learning, our two school boards, our hospital systems. In other words, institutions that employ tens of thousands of people and serve tens of thousands of people. We have young people, student groups, senior groups. I know so many other councillors are in support of this, but if you have an issue where Councillor Green and Councillor Ferguson agree, I think that this is a pretty easy one. Of course, the Ontario Cabinet, bureaucracy, and even the opposition parties support this project, as does the federal government. And of course, we need not look much further than KW to see what the impacts of this. And the lessons from KW are not that we should not do this. So the other costs of doing nothing are absolutely astronomical. Ignoring those key voices does considerable damage They're also telling you that it's important to their operations, and so the cumulative opportunity cost of not doing anything is enormous. The strategic plan and mission statement are worthless. What does being the best place in Canada to raise a child and age successfully mean if you're going to ignore those groups? Of course, further damage to our reputation, the damage to our relationships with higher levels of government, and years of progress in reshaping our image and gaining our confidence are all gone. The cost of building LRT are real. Mr. Loomis, your time is up. But they are manageable and temporary. Thank you.
Mr. Loomis, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Whitehead?
Yeah, Keanin, I always appreciate your comments, and we understand that there's always going to be different points of view around the table. I'm really interested in how you characterized the issues in the city of Hamilton as it pertains to the community and councillors. So you basically identified two categories. Can you repeat those two categories? Because it seems to me that there's a category missing.
I'm sorry.
Well, you identify in your report two categories in regards to people's views on this
right.
file. What are they?
So I think I referred to the survey of the greater populace that demonstrates that at least half of half of the population of Hamilton is either in support or undecided at this point in time on this project. And then there's the leadership community, the people that run the organizations, institutions, and businesses that really make this city tick on a day-to-day basis.
I understand that, but before that, in your editorializing, you indicated that there's, I don't know, was it politicking or, what you didn't acknowledge is that there's a huge, massive population out there that shouldn't be shunned. And there's a number of councillors here that shouldn't be shown in the context that they believe there are risks, there are concerns, and you seem to gloss over the fact that there's any concerns in respect to this project. So can you, your opening statement, can you read it again so we can capture that comment? So I want to ensure that anyone that believes or have concerns with this project are being completely dismissed with those comments.
They aren't being completely dismissed at all. I had 5 minutes today, but I think you'll find in my editorial today in the spec that I acknowledge that there are a lot of costs that will come over the next 5 years, a lot of impacts associated with the building of LRT. We understand those costs. We've done a lot of research into what other communities have experienced in building LRT, and again, we don't have to go much further than KW to do that. Those costs are temporary and manageable, and that's the point of my closing.
No, I appreciate the presentation, but respectfully, I really do. What I don't appreciate is the fact that people that had legitimate risk on this project are being completely dismissed with your opening statements, because now you're basically not only insulting a good chunk of the population, but you're also insulting councillors around this table that feel that there are legitimate risk. It doesn't say those risks should outweigh the positives. I'm not even suggesting that. But to suggest that there's no risk in this project and that we shouldn't be concerned about that seems to be a bit dismissive, and that's how I read in your opening comments. I don't think you meant it that way, because you just identified that there are risks. I just hope the message isn't that if you have concerns and risks, they could be overcome, but we understand there are risks.
I appreciate that through you, Madam Deputy Mayor. I understand that. To the extent that this is due to having cold feet because things are going to get messy or political opportunism, I think that's, of course, the wrong basis upon which we would decide this major, once-in-a-lifetime infrastructural project.
So you feel that political opportunism is the driving force and not concern about the project itself?
I believe there are a number of reasons, a few reasons why councillors might not support this, and those are in the range of those answers, yes.
So is that to suggest for even a moment that any councillor that's done as much work as the number of councillors around this horseshoe that have done their own research and looked at the reports, that you would completely dismiss those that rationale and that comprehensive review and dismiss it as political opportunism?
That could perhaps indeed be the case, yes. You would have to ask those councillors.
Thank you.
Are there any further questions? Seeing none, thank you. I wanted to acknowledge Mr. McMeekin, MPP McMeekin, has arrived as well. He's going to be here